our second episode of the Peptide Business Insider, where we are literally just coming in here to share our real, authentic stories with you so that you can just learn about the opportunity that's here, but also the peptides that could really help you too, if that's something you're interested in. So, I have already shared my story. If you go back to episode one, which I would recommend that you do if you have not, you get to hear my story in depth. You get to see my paychecks and you get to hear two other stories as well. So I am going to hand the time over to Bri, who I have the honor in working with. I feel like we don't talk all the time. This is like, again, maybe the second Zoom call I have been on since stepping away from the business that I was in before. But I love watching her journey. I've loved seeing her content. I'm being educated by her content, which gives me more ideas for mine too. And so I'll just hand it over to you and you can share your story and what it looks like for you to do it.
All right, so I'm Brianna Marston. Everybody calls me Bri. It's much easier to remember. I am from Iowa, southeast corner of Iowa. I am a nurse by trade. I do still work as a nurse. I work from home though, so not like acute care. Um, I have 6 kids ranging from age 32 down to 4, and I have 2 grandkids that are the same age as my 2 youngest kids. So kind of a kind of a strange situation, but we love it. Um, I have been on a GLP-1 for probably 2 years, right about this time 2 years ago. Um, I have been through 3 different providers. I'm on my 4th provider. I ran into, um I was on semaglutide at first, and then that provider or it wasn't working as well for me as I had hoped. So then I changed to tirzepatide. That provider could no longer get tirzepatide, so I switched to another provider. On tirzepatide, I loved it. I was losing weight, feeling great, more energy, and then they couldn't get it anymore. They could still get semaglutide, but they couldn't get the tirzepatide. Same thing with the third one. I did then end up that was right when they said that there was no longer a shortage of I wanna say they said some, Ozempic, but whatever. So that was my 4th one. I did go back to semaglutide because I'm like, "Okay, this is my 3rd provider, and they all keep saying we can't compound anymore." So I went to the semaglutide because I could still get that, and I felt awful. I had the side effects with the semaglutide the second time. I didn't have it the first time I was on it, but the second time I had the nausea and mostly that, like, I just felt awful. Some people feel great with it, so don't let that deter you, but, um, I did then find a provider that I could get my tirzepatide from, um, so I went back on that, felt much better, and then Christina had shared, I saw one of her posts or story or something, and she was giving herself her first injection, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, she's trying this GLP-1 also." Um, for 2 years, I did not tell anybody at all that I was on a GLP-1 except my husband, and he didn't know right away. Like, I kept it from him, and, I finally told my mom a few months prior to, like, it was probably February or something of this year, I finally told my mom, mostly because I was worried about, the stigma that everybody kinda seemed to have behind it, or people thinking I was being lazy or taking the easy way out or I'm cheating. I also really got tired of hearing, people talk about how bad it is for you and long-term effects and blah, 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 blah. So, anyway, when Christina talked about it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, I really should share this because not only have I lost 35 pounds, um, my family has a huge, like, significant history of diabetes after the age of 50. My grandpa was one of 14 siblings. All 14 of them became diabetic after age 50. My uncle, my aunt, both diabetic after age 50. My dad passed away at 44, so we don't know about him. And then it really hit me when my sister became pre-diabetic at 48, and then she was diagnosed with diabetes at 51. And I was like, okay. It's getting close, this every obviously, I'm going to become diabetic, period. And, right about that same time, we do some, like, biometric labs for work, and, my A1C was starting to increase close to pre-diabetic, and I was like, "Oh, here it comes." And my cholesterol was going up. And so then my doctor started checking my blood every 6 months, and it wasn't a matter of if I was gonna get put on cholesterol medication, it was just she was waiting to see when she wanted to do it. Um, I didn't even tell her I was taking the semaglutide at first and the tirzepatide. So then I did tell her, and she was actually happy to hear that, and I can now say that I also my A1C is down to, like, 5.1. I am nowhere close to being diabetic. My cholesterol has come down to where she is no longer doing every 6-month lab work, it's once a year like everybody else. She's not even considering medication, so it's not just about weight for me, it's also about health. And I know that I am reducing my risks for diabetes, kidney disease, heart disease, all of that. Um, and as a nurse, like, that's where I kinda geek out is, like, all the other stuff that it does for you other than weight loss, so that is what I've done with the GLP-1s. I did, and I'll be honest, with switching all those different providers, nobody told me how important it is to increase your protein. I had, like, 0 education with it. Um, so I was not good about my protein, I was not good about my hydration, and I lost hair. I I had the hair loss, and I was getting really concerned because it was getting really thin, like, right up through here. So, when, after Christina introduced me to our provider, um, they have other peptides also, and there's one GHKCU that, can help, like, with hair growth and skin rejuvenation and all of that. So I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I need that." I've done that. I did that for 8 weeks, and it's crazy. Like, I never had bangs before 8 weeks ago, and I have, like, this was 8 weeks on GHKCU. So that is another amazing peptide, and now I have also just started taking a new peptide that they have that's the, tesamorelin and ipamorelin for muscle or for, like, prevention of the muscle loss, maintaining your lean muscle, getting rid of visceral fat, lots of other things, because also nobody told me to keep doing strength training. So, sure, I lost a lot of weight, but I also lost a lot of muscle. So, other peptides to get all of that stuff back too. So anyway, one thing I do wanna mention is when I joined with this provider with Christina, I asked in a meeting with the founder of the company, "How do we know that you are gonna be able to continue to compound this? Because you're my 4th provider, and I don't wanna keep going through this." And she said that, like, they have it worked out, and I don't wanna say 100% guaranteed, but she said, "We are not going to get to the point where we can't compound it." So, I have now found my forever my forever provider. Um, I just feel great. I am so much happier. I have so much more energy. Um, like, I can't even I'm a totally different person, and I can't even explain it. Like, you would just have to know me to know that I am. My husband has even said I'm different, but not in a bad way. Um, and as soon as I knew that the GLP-1s worked because I said I've been on them for 2 years and the health benefits. So, when I knew that I could tell other people about this, and earn a commission, I was like, "Why wouldn't I?" I wanna help everybody, like I said, I'm a nurse and I'm, like, a helper, so I wanna, like, help and fix everybody. So like Christina said, it's seriously just sharing our story, and, yeah, I was in another company prior to this, it was actually the same one Christina was, for 2 years, and, that it took a lot of time. That was really time consuming. I was on my phone all the time. It was always asking people to buy, following up with people to buy. It just felt icky. I mean, to be honest, it started to feel really icky, and I was like, "I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm not gonna be that type of person." Um, so this was totally different when, like I said, all I have to do is share my story on social media, and, if people are interested, then I will send them the link to my very trusted provider. And then we earn a commission. So super easy. I have so much more time with my kids. I'm not on my phone all the time. Like Christina said, it's making content maybe an hour a day. I'm getting better at it too, a little faster. But it's not like you don't have to be a major influencer. um, I think I have just over a little over 200 followers or whatever on Instagram, and I'm still building with this. So learning to do content, but content isn't like influencer content. It's your story and it's education about the different peptides and how it's helped you. So this is totally different, and I regret I didn't find it sooner.
I love it. Well, and we've had to unlearn. So if you're someone who's watching this and you come from an MLM background, like there's still a community vibe, even though like we don't do calls all the time. And it's just different. It's like you have this time for your family, which again, like you could put your heart and soul into something and a compensation plan could change, a product could change, a company could go under. And so this is like, I would say, in my opinion, this is true affiliate marketing, meaning that like you are building your brand and you're sharing again, you're sharing a provider, just as you would an Amazon link. Like you would never think to follow up with a person that you sent an Amazon link to. And this is very similar to that, right? Like they'll get all their questions answered through the website with the provider, and they can chat back and forth with doctors, and they can get all of that help there. Because again, it's not our place to do that, but that also takes a weight off too. So I will say we have had to unwire how we were taught, especially, I mean, I was in it for over 8 years, how we were taught to do things and how to like sacrifice all of your time and it'll pay off in the end. But it really truly doesn't have to be that way. And we've been able to prove that. And that's why we've started to make these, peptide business insider videos, is so that people can actually hear real stories, because you can see a lot of stuff on social media. It's like, yeah, I make all this money. And it's like, but really, do you? And the last thing I'll leave you guys with is that it's a rolling commission. So if you've ever been in another business where it's like every end of the month, you're hustle, 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 and then you restart at the beginning of every single month. So all of these medications are on a subscription, but it's a no strings subscription for them. And most people end up, wanting to try different peptides, or they decide to get on GLP-1 and then maybe they possibly microdose like Bri is doing and like I plan to do as well. Again, my family, every single person on my dad's side of the family also has diabetes as well. And so looking at, okay, what's the best thing for me to do health wise, to live the longest that I possibly can. And not only live long, but like enjoy your life. There's a difference between staying alive and being alive and really getting out there and living, life to the fullest every day. And this has helped us see that clearly. And until you have your own journey, I don't think you're gonna feel it. It's kind of like if you know, you know. Because I didn't
Absolutely.
know and I judged it. Like I didn't tell anybody for 2 years. I judged it behind the scenes for years. I mean, it took us over a year to even pull the trigger, and it was my husband almost having a heart attack and getting to the point where we were gonna get him a CPAP machine. At 34 years old, we were gonna buy him a CPAP machine. Like, something had to give, and it got unfortunately for us, it got to the point where his health got so bad to where we actually finally decided to do something about it. So, anyways, that is how it works in a nutshell,
I
and
wanna add one thing
oh,
too,
yeah.
if you um, and with this, what I also really like is you don't have to build a business. You can just have customers. Like, you can just truly do the affiliate side with sharing your link and getting commission. So, like, you don't even have to do the network marketing side of it. They're two so totally separate sides, which I really liked, because then I'm like, "Oh, if I don't want to build a business, I don't have to. I can just have customers." So, I
Well, and
love that also.
some people don't even create content. They don't
Yeah.
even want to talk about it on social media, but they have people asking them, "Where do I get it? What did you do?" And so I would say it's definitely like you have to be willing to talk about it, whether it's on social media or it's off social media, but be willing to be vulnerable and to share the truth. of, how it has helped you, because the stigma is being reduced day after day after day. Serena Williams came out this week and said that she's been on a GLP-1, and more research is coming out about how it's impacting people's health, and, all the other things that I'm not going to get into.
Surprised you would be surprised how many people are on a GLP-1. Once I shared my story, the number of people that reached out was to say, I'm on it too. I've been embarrassed to tell anybody too.
Awesome. Okay. Well, that is all for this episode. If this speaks to you and you want to look into the peptides for yourself, or you are already on a peptide journey or would like to be on a peptide journey, but also share about it, feel free to go ahead and check out the description. All the links are there for you, from just checking out the peptides to getting started in the business. If you do decide that you want to start as a brand partner and really sharing this true affiliate experience where you create value, share your story with other people and make a commission that's attached to that as well, feel free to go ahead and sign up. Once you do so, please let me know by either messaging me on YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. You can also email me, that's in the description below as well, so I can get you the information that you need to get your link set up, to get your direct deposit set up, and then you're essentially off to the races. Okay, you guys, see you later.